Hey folks, it's Ross. Every now and then I get a chance to visit with someone, and this is a nice visit that I had with Fred Hundt in Naples, Florida, April 4th, 2026. We're sitting, by the way, here in Naples with Fred Hundt. I had been seeing your name, I told you, all over the place because I'm in the music community down here in Naples, and it would be Fred Hundt this and Fred Hundt that, and I never had a chance to shake your hand, and it wasn't until after the gig that we even figured out who one another
Who we were,
or
yeah.
was or whatever. And so after the gig today, Fred was courteous enough to sit and visit with us. We love stories.
Well, I started my career in California in radio.
Right. Oh my
That's how I
gosh.
put myself through college, was
Okay.
working all night at radio stations
While
and
you
stuff
were in
like
college.
that.
Where were you at in
First
California?
in San Francisco.
Okay.
So I worked at KMPX and KSAN, which were the first underground stations
Okay.
in San Francisco.
Wow. Wow.
And then I ended up finishing school in Cal State Chico in northern Central Valley.
Right.
And I worked for an AM station there and did midnight to 6.
And is this the time in San Francisco you were in the rock band?
Part of it was the rock band era, and then I had to get out of the Bay Area for personal safety reasons.
Sure. Now, when was it? What years
Well,
was that?
I grew up in Oakland,
Okay.
so I could never be a hippie because we didn't believe in indiscriminate nonviolence
Okay.
in Oakland. But so I ended up living in San Francisco in the late 60s, went to high school there and had the band there, and
Wow.
it was a good time to be there.
Oh, wow.
That,
And what was the name of the band, or what was
we were called AK-47.
the AK-47?
So while everybody else was peace and love, we were guns and tough stuff and
Sure.
and hard edge rock and roll.
Right.
If you ever heard of the MC5 out of Detroit, we were kind of like patterned after them
Sure.
in some way.
Sure.
So
Right. Wow. Wow.
we were considered the second loudest band in San Francisco.
Oh my gosh.
Not the second best. Blue
Right.
Cheer was louder than us because they had a recording contract, but
Right.
we played really loud and fast and 3-minute songs and bam, 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 bam. And
Wow. Let me take a break away.
sure.
We're at the Bean and Cup. Is that right?
Bean to Cup.
Bean to Cup at 3570 down Bayshore Drive
Right.
in Naples, Florida. It's April 4th. Fred just finished up a gig here. He and I met for the first time last evening at Studio 113, also in Naples. I had been seeing your name, I told you, all over the place because I'm in the music community down here in Naples, and it would be Fred Hundt this and Fred Hundt that, and I never had a chance to shake your hand, and it wasn't until after the gig that we even figured out who one another
Who we were,
or
yeah.
was or whatever. And so after the gig today, Fred was courteous enough to sit and visit with us. We love stories. And so earlier you were telling me about the rock and roll band and the fact that you had big speakers, lots of stuff, and you worked at role playing, setting up.
Getting things set up as quickly as possible so we could set up in 20 minutes from the van to the stage.
Wow.
And the deal was you had to be able to do that if it was just inside the hall or if you had to go up a flight of stairs or whatever it was.
Sure.
And we were fortunate we had some hangers-on that were good road crew, and we worked at it, and we were able to get set up in a hurry, and more importantly, we could get everything down and get in the truck and get out of town before the police arrived after a gig. So that proved very helpful
Sure.
sometimes in the Central
Sure.
Valley of California.
Wow.
But
Wow. Now, what year would you have said music begin? Did you take piano lessons, or how did you start? How old were you?
as far back as I remember, my dad was a frustrated jazz player.
Okay.
He worked as a highway engineer, but he played sax and clarinet, and our house was the place where jazz musicians came and hung out when they were in Oakland.
Okay.
So growing up, we had all these musicians that were just always around playing. Earl Hines lived down the street from us.
Sure.
I dated his daughter for a minute, and then she decided she could do a lot better. But we had Coleman Hawkins, we had Duke Ellington, Miles Davis. People like that hung around the house, and at the time, I just thought it was, normal.
Sure, right. Well, it was normal in your unique setting. And,
so I took piano lessons. I played trumpet in school,
Sure.
and my brother played guitar, and then he took up sax in school.
Sure.
And I played keyboards. First band I played in, I played keyboards, but that wasn't a popular thing really in '64, '65, around then.
Right.
You could try to be Ray Manzarek from the Doors, but
Yeah.
And then I took up bass, and
Right.
the rest is history.
Wow. Wow.
So I've been playing bass since '68.
And after AK-47, what's some of the other?
Well, we broke up in the early '70s. My brother wanted to, the band wanted to keep playing music. I decided I wanted to eat on a regular schedule. And so I got jobs, and I went back to school on the installment plan as I could afford it.
Right.
And he and the rest of the band went to Europe and played rock and roll.
Right. Wow.
So from that point on, I was more career-oriented, but wherever I was, I always had bands.
Sure,
and always played music.
So what was the career path that you headed down, or that came to you?
I was saying before, I worked as a radio announcer and did TV news in Northern California for
Sure.
a little while. I determined I wasn't mentally ill enough to be talent in a radio station. So I got recruited out of college by the restaurant chain I had worked part-time for.
Sure.
And worked as a manager and a troubleshooter for them for a few years.
Right.
And anything that can go wrong in business will go wrong in a restaurant.
Sure.
But after a few years of that, I decided I could probably do marketing better than their marketing people.
Right.
Went and got an MBA at Northwestern in Chicago.
Right. And so with the MBA, did you evolve into something other than the restaurant business?
Yep. I went to General Mills
Yep.
out of college. That's the first time I lived in Minnesota.
Huge company in Minnesota.
Yep. Made the world safe for Wheaties.
What type of bands were you in through those seasons? Playing bass, but...
Yeah, I played in a band with General Mills folks that was kind of a big band with half a dozen singers, male and female, and we did a lot of corporate parties and events and things like that around the Twin Cities.
Sure, right.
Did that. Played in some bars down along Lake Street and in Uptown, just with small pickup groups, and
Sure.
did bluesy type stuff.
Wow.
Did that. Ended up got recruited by another company to Memphis.
Yep.
Lived in Memphis in the 1980s.
Sure.
Accidentally bought a bar.
Okay.
I had developed a bit of a love for the drink, shall we say.
Sure.
And my neighborhood friendly bar, they couldn't make their payroll, so I took money out of the bank and owned a third of it.
Right.
And as part of the deal, we did music every Tuesday night with a group of friends.
Sure.
And people would just show up and play.
Right.
And there were so many good musicians
Oh, man.
in Naples at that time who were pumping gas or changing tires or whatever.
Right.
Guys would come in and just blow you away. And then we had famous folks show up. Joe Walsh was in town a lot of the time, and he would come and play with us.
Amazing. We came through Memphis, and yeah, the music is just everywhere. Yeah. The talent is everywhere. And what a story, buying in a third.
Yeah.
Was that a Beale Street or?
No, it was out in East Naples.
East Memphis.
East Memphis, yeah. Beale Street was just being redeveloped at the time. I had friends that were the developers.
Right.
And they lost their shirts.
Oh.
That thing got all developed and nobody came for the first few years.
Interesting.
So
What a story.
you could go downtown to one of the clubs and Albert King would be playing and there'd be 12 people in the audience.
Is that, and like Albert was connected to B.B. King, or?
Yeah, he was, I think he's a distant cousin, but
Okay.
Crosscut Saw, a bunch of other blues songs he's famous for. But he'd play there with a full band and
Right.
there'd be no one there,
Right.
B.B. King would show up and there'd be maybe 30 people,
Right.
It just,
Interesting.
it was too bad. And part of the problem with Memphis at that time was there was no middle class. There were 1 million people in town. 40,000 could afford to do something, and the rest were dirt poor.
Sure.
So,
right. So it was an economy thing.
right, and it really took several years to develop the tourist economy that then made Beale Street successful.
It is very interesting to hear stories. We're sitting, by the way, here in Naples with Fred Hundt, and Naples has a similar story where it was in the 60s, just, nothing compared to what it is today. And the growth has been unreal. And I think it's hard to imagine, and I'm hearing this in the story of your background of Memphis, that there's days where Beale Street was not Beale Street. And we've been down through there only recently.
And now
what
it's packed.
It's just unreal.
Yeah.
It's unreal. And the talent is unreal. I want to compliment you. And again, we're visiting with Fred Hundt. We're at the Bean to Cup.
Bean to Cup, my favorite coffee place.
It's a coffee place here in Naples, Florida. He just finished a gig. I'll put video out, both of Fred on Facebook. I'll get some of them out on YouTube. But what he does is intros his music, the song that he's going to love on us with, and includes stories. And the stories, the songs are great, but the stories are even greater.
That's why I like doing this coffee house gig. Because I can play music that people don't usually hear, and I can kind of weave in the stories of it. We played the song "Who Knows Where the Time Goes" today, and it was written by Sandy Denny when she was 15 and a half years old, and it,
oh my gosh,
it sounds like it was written by somebody in their 50s or 60s that had lived a whole life. And
right.
So I call this gig Fred Plays the C-Sides. Records have an A side and a B side. Well, these are the C sides.
Right.
They're obscure songs by great artists and great songs by obscure artists.
Awesome.
And I love to do a little research about the song or the artist.
It was, as I was recording you and I'm hearing these stories, it's like I just want to put out story after story after story. And of course that gets really long if you keep the music in, and it's almost like I just wanted to put out this reel of stories, because they're phenomenal stories and so interesting. And thank you for playing an original at the end. Tell us about that again.
Yeah, well, people don't usually or don't frequently ask me to play originals, so I was kind of taken aback when you asked me. That was the first one that came to mind, and that's a song called "After the Laughter" that I have to think about when I wrote it. Probably late 70s, early 80s.
You said around I'm 74. I can't even remember the lyrics to the songs I've written sometimes. But amazing. It's 50 years ago.
Yep. But there was, I'm a jazz fan too, and a jazz musician named Eric Dolphy was quoted as saying, once music is in the air, it's lost. You can never capture it again.
Right.
And that kind of stuck in my head when I was thinking about this song and thinking about these experiences we have in life.
Sure.
And they happen and they go, and we're left with the memories. Or, I think I sing in the song, when the amps are turned off, all I'm left is this cough.
Yeah.
And a vision of what might have been.
Right.
And in many ways, that's kind of what
right.
music is like to me. But if we can all come together and connect over a song or a moment in time with a song, that's such a beautiful thing.
It's part of why we're here.
Exactly.
I mentioned I started shooting live video on Facebook in 2018. It wasn't really until the end of 24 where things at Facebook and how they're managing live video in their cloud and intending to delete it, and they die after 30 days, that I went to video. And as we move toward those videos, whether we believe the spirit in us is of Christ or whatever a person believes, there is a spirit that moves. And I've been prompted time and time again as I meet amazing people, including you today, and it's like the stories are that piece that we want to capture. The music is glorious, but the story is one of a kind. And thank you for sharing. I'm just interested more now about these more recent years, and mentioning that you're 74. We saw you last night for the first time. What is it that keeps you going now? I mean, why are you doing it?
I draw so much energy from playing. Yes, physically it's harder to load this gear and unload it and all that. And you saw last night I was sitting down playing the bass for part of the time. But I draw such energy from playing and love it. And it's like, well, if I have the ability to do this, if God has given me the situation where I can do this at this point in my life, why not? You know, I could be sitting home watching football on TV or something, or situation comedies, but I can come out and do this. So right now I'm playing in 3 bands, and I call it 3.5 because I'm rehearsing with another one, but we haven't played anywhere yet, so it doesn't count. And I end up playing somewhere, somehow, probably 5 days a week, 5 or 6 days a week, and so it's kind of become like a full-time endeavor,
right?
Down here,
you get an energy.
Yeah.
I do, as I meet people and they're like, oh, hey, thank you for being here, shooting video or whatever. As you share, this energy that comes from it is really, it has nothing to do with money. And it has a lot to do with legacy. And I think we think more about our legacy as we age.
I think that's true. And I'm more conscious of the limits of my time. You know, I can look at an actuarial table and figure out that I'm not going to be here too many more years, 5, 10, or if I'm lucky, 15, you know. But why not invest that time in doing something that brings people joy?
There's only so many days left.
Yeah.
And that's true for everybody watching right now. But when you're young, you just don't feel it.
No, you don't get it.
Like for me, recently I had put out a video where I talked about my dad stepping into eternity a couple years ago. It changes everything in your mind. As you are now stepping closer to that, following those before you, you recognize there's a time we're stepping into eternity. And thank you so much for the music you share, for the stories along with the music that you share, and for taking time with us today. Thank you very much. Fred Hundt, Naples, Florida, April 4th. Be blessed, man. Be blessed.
Thank you. It's been wonderful to get to meet you and get a chance to talk, and I hope we do it again sometime.
Thank you.